an example of one of them that I made. Here's one of them, and I believe I have a second one. I actually made that card with the Timeless Tulips stamp set, which is still available, and Always in My Heart. So Always in My Heart is in the mini catalog, and Timeless Tulips is in the annual catalog, and they're both still available. So that's what I used for this card. I'll pop this out of the way. So tonight we're going to do a similar card like this, and I don't see the other card that I had. In fact, I just uploaded it to Facebook, but that's okay. So let's get started here. So this is called a triple time technique, and what we're going to do is take, I've already cut these down, and let's see, I will actually post the sizes of the paper that we need to create this card. And let's see, I've got that right here. Yeah, I just put this together, so let me grab it. Let's see. Okay, here we go. All right, so the sizes that you need is, for this center aligned card, is an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of cardstock, and we'll fold it in half. This time I think I'm going to make a landscape card, and then we're going to need white cardstock that is 4 by 5.25. We'll need a piece that is 4.5 by 3, and a third piece that is 3.25 by 2. And then for the background for each one of those, this will be the background for the first one, but then we need a 3.25 by 4.5 and a 3.5 by 2.25. So here's how you make the card. Just 1 second here. Okay, so what we need here is a piece of a mini glue dot. We're going to need our stamp and seal, and we're going to need our dimensionals. I might need a small one. And so the first thing we want to do is we want to stack these 3 basic white pieces of cardstock, and we want them centered. Each one of them, we want them centered as best as possible. So I'm going to use a mini glue dot to just hold it in place, because we need to make sure it stays in place while we stamp the card. And we'll do this one. We had a lot of rain today. In fact, we had so much wind that a neighbor's tree knocked out the power. In the part of the subdivision where we live, we have underground electricity, but towards the front of the subdivision, they still have above line power or above ground power. So we were without power from about 9:30 until 3:30 this afternoon. Okay, so for this card, we're going to use the Jar of Flowers. Now, with this Memento ink, we're going to ink this up and twist it just a little bit so it gets everything inked up. And now we're just going to stamp it. Now we have options. We can stamp it so that it's mostly the flowers here on the outside. And actually, I think I said I was going to do landscape. So let's go ahead and turn that right there. So I think I'm going to stamp it here. And then I will stamp it here. So the idea is to cover all three of the layers. You want to hit all three of the layers. Now, I think I'm going to turn this one around. And I have this mat underneath because this is a photopolymer stamp set. It's a photopolymer stamp, so there's no rubber behind it. There's no cushion or anything. So this ensures that we get a nice, clear image. Okay. Now with the Memento ink, we need to let that dry a little bit before we start coloring these in. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this off. So how is everybody today? How did you like, was it windy where you were or where you live? How about the rain? I heard that we're supposed to get a whole lot of rain. We're in central Illinois and we're not too far from the Indiana state line. And we really got a lot of rain. In fact, we've got some standing in our backyard, and I could hear the pump running today after the power came back on. Okay. All right, so next we're going to color these flowers in. And I'm using the Magenta Madness. I have the light and the dark. And I'm also going to use the Daffodil Delight. I've got the light and the dark for that. And I'm going to use the Old Olive, the light and dark. So let's start out with the lighter of the Magenta Madness. So we just want to color, these are the Stampin' Blends, and they do a wonderful job coloring. They are alcohol based, so they dry pretty quick. But because they're alcohol based, we can blend with them. So for instance, if I go back around this flower and put some darker edges on it to try to blend it in a little bit, just give it some dimension like that. And then I'm going to go back with this one with the brush end, and I'm going to go right over that line and blend them together like this. Okay, so I don't think I am going to blend all of these together. I don't think it's necessary for the card that we're making. So I'm just going to go ahead and color these in. In fact, it's okay if you go over the lines, but you want to make sure that your Memento ink is dry. Otherwise, it can smear. So I've been stamping since about 2006. I started out as a scrapbooker, and then I met my upline, who is the manager for our team. Her name is Kim Peck. She's wonderful. And so she introduced me to stamping. And so I've been stamping ever since. I joined Stampin' Up! About almost 2 years ago. I guess it's more like a year and a half, and I decided that I was going to make this a business. So I hope to retire sometime from my job at the University of Illinois and do this then full time. So let's see, let's go over here and color this flower pink as well. So tell me how long you've been stamping. Are you new, or have you been stamping for a while? I really enjoy it. For me, it's very therapeutic. I like having just quiet time where I can create. I love to make cards. I still like to scrapbook, but I enjoy showing and teaching others how to be creative because it's very, very simple. And for this one, in fact, we're just coloring it in, right? So that's pretty simple. Stampin' Up! Also is coming out for the month of April with a new paper pumpkin that is designed for adults and children. So you might take advantage of that if you want to spend some time with a child or somebody else who you want to connect with, and do some stamping, because everything you need comes in the box. It comes with the adhesive and the block. The first paper pumpkin you buy comes with the block, and then you need to keep it for the next one. So I think here we're gonna switch over to the daffodil. So these markers come in pairs of 2. You get the light and the dark. And I will post everything that I'm using with this video after I edit it. It will go live as soon as I'm finished, just a few moments after I'm finished, but then I will go back and edit it. I'll edit out the front part, and I'll add a thumbnail, and then I'll add all of the supplies and so forth that I'm using tonight. And then once that's all done, then I will, let's see, I gotta look at my picture here. This one comes over here. Okay. Then I'll upload it to my YouTube channel, and then you'll be able to see it there. Please share and like my page. My videos will help me continue to provide videos and lessons. I'm going to put a little yellow right there. Okay, so we don't have to color in all of the flowers. So let's go ahead and color the leaves in. There's one, and here's a couple more. Stampin' Up! Has a beautiful designer series paper that is all black and white. And I've used it, and I've colored some of them, and I've left some of them black and white, and they're just stunning. So color this one in. And here's the leaf. I can't really tell if that's a leaf or not. Right there. Let's see, another photo. Yeah, it is. All right, so we're going to color in another yellow. Let's go down here and do this one. These little buds down here. Okay. I wonder if those are leaves. They kind of look like it. So I'll go back in with this old olive and color these in. Okay, now I'm going to turn this around so I can color the other side and try not to move my paper, my cardstock. There we go. So let's see. Let's go ahead and color this leaf, these leaves, and these. Okay. Let's color this one magenta. Oh, let's see here. It's kind of hard to tell where one flower starts and the other one ends. It's up to interpretation. And then we'll go yellow on this one. So I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and if you don't have a demonstrator, I would be happy to be your demonstrator and take care of all of your stamping needs. We have a new catalog that's coming out in about a month, and I would be happy to send you one if you'd like to have a catalog. Just leave me a comment, or you can reach me at my email address, which is tjtucker2013@gmail.com. Okay, so let's go down here. I also do private classes. I do classes online, Zoom or Facebook Room. And so we can get you and some of your friends together to create. And I would be happy to send them the supplies that they need to create a card. We would stick with something very simple. And it's just fun to get together, and then you would earn any of the profits from the sales. If they purchase any stamps, then you would get the you would earn credit for that, and then you would get free stamps. If you think that's something that you might be interested in, just contact me. Uh-oh, I got a little pink on that one. It's okay. It's easy to cover up the boo-boos because we use gems and different items we have to decorate. We have embellishments and ribbon and all sorts of stuff that we can use if we make a boo-boo. And it's okay if you make a boo-boo, because this is what I say, it's homemade, not Hallmark. And trust me, these are cards that your friends and family will not throw away. Okay, so I'm going to color in the leaves. Looks like I got them. Okay. So now we're going to take these apart very carefully. And when you have adhered something to your cardstock, just twist it until it comes off. You don't want to tear the cardstock. I think it needs a little help here. You don't really want to bend the cardstock trying to get it off either. All right, so we got that one. There we go. It's number 2, and here's number 3. So what we're going to do now is put this on this piece of cardstock. This is our card base. So I want to be careful that I don't put this, well, it's not going to bother it, but just want to be careful of where that dot is so that you're not pulling up cardstock that you don't want to pull up. But since this is in the center, it's not going to matter because it's going to be covered up anyway. Okay. Just press that down so it stays. And now we'll put another Magenta Madness piece of cardstock down. Try to get it centered and straight. And then we're going to put this one down. And it should match up with, there we go. It should match up with what you've just laid down. See how that matches up? Okay, and then we'll put our last piece down. Just touch that with adhesive on my finger. And then last but not least, this one. I have to restart my seal because I don't know how to stop. When it comes to an end, I need to kind of twist it to make it stop. So if I don't do that, then it gets stopped in the runner. Okay. Isn't that pretty? Now, the last thing we're going to do is I went ahead and cut out, I used, let's see here. Stampin' Up! Has a Butterfly Brilliance collection, and it is all of these butterflies that are on one stamp like this. So you can stamp this on a piece of cardstock and then use the coordinating die that will cut them all out like this. And right now, for a limited time, I think through the end of March, we have some designer series paper that goes along with that. Let me grab it. So we've got this paper right here that is an imitation of this stamp set. So you can put the die right on here like this and cut these out at one time. And then you can use them or save them. You know, you might only want to use one. You want to save the others for another card. You can find this information. I put all of this information about these butterflies and this Butterfly Brilliance collection on my blog. And my blog is Tucker Top Notch Designs. And I don't have it on here, but tuckertopnotchdesigns.blogspot.com. So what I did is I took one of the butterflies from the stamp set and I mounted it. So I wanted to mount this butterfly here. So I simply took one of my large blocks, and Stampin' Up! Sells these too, and I'll list these in the description. And then I put it in the ink, and then I stamped it. And then after I stamped it, then I took the cardstock and placed it on top of the butterfly, and then I ran it through the Stamp Cut and Emboss machine. So that's how I came up with this butterfly right here. So I'm going to put that right in the center there. And this stamp set, neither one, the Butterfly Brilliance stamp set or the Jar of Flowers, either one, have sentiments with it. But we have an amazing, amazing stamp set, or a stamp, that I loaned out. So I don't have it here to show you right now, but I can show you what it looks like in here. It's one single stamp. Okay, it's the messages die, and it goes with the mini messages, and in this mini catalog it's on page 35. So here it is. So this is the stamp, and this is the die. This is how it cuts out. So you stamp all of these onto a single sheet of cardstock, and then you line up the die with the hearts and the stars, and then run it through your cut and emboss machine, and it cuts them all out at the same time. In fact, I've got several that I've already cut, and I keep these close by so that I can use them at a moment's notice. It's a great stamp set and die set to have. I really like the bundle. So I'm going to grab a couple of dimensionals here, and we're going to pop this butterfly up. This, and then this is one of the stamps. This is one of the images that come off of the mini messages die. So I'm just going to add it here like this. And just a card to say hello. So there we are. What do you think? That's our triple time technique. It makes a stunning card, and it's easy to do. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you leave me some messages, comment. Hi, Carol. Thank you. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Please like and share. I really appreciate that. I want to get as much information out to as many people as possible who would enjoy stamping. So that's all I have for you this evening, and thank you again for being here. I really appreciate it.